Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another episode of Battle Bites here in World of Tanks. And today I've got something a little bit different for you. I'm going to have a double dose of replay, two videos back to back, two replay battles in the E50, the Tier 9 German medium tank. Both of these battles have the E50 fully upgraded. This is just to give you a taste in two different situations of what this tank can do, some of its strengths, and some of the fun that you can have if you have this tank, especially once you have the Top Gun on it unlocked. So this first battle is a standard battle on live oaks, and I'm going to show you a position I like to get into early. Usually when I have the north spawn on this map, I usually can sit here in this bush, knock the tree down to give myself some extra concealment, and then spot a lot of enemies and usually put out a couple of shots as they run into the town. You'll have the side of those tanks and be able to damage them. But as you can see there, I did a little cut. I sat there for a long time and really didn't do much of anything. Only a couple tanks went into the town, and those that did, I was not able to spot. So we go down 2-0, and I think I need to go get into the town and help out. So I need to take a bit of a long way around so I'm not getting shot in the side as I advance from anybody sitting on the hill in the D2, D3 area. So I'm trying to rush down here into town. I get up against the map border. I'm thinking maybe I can throw a shot in right down the side there into a tank, but nothing is lined up. So then I continue my advance. And one of the things that the E50 is really strong at is mobility. It accelerates well. It's got a really good top speed. This thing can move and it can shift and change flanks and reposition when you need to. So going from one place to another is not a hindrance in this tank. You can kind of take a chance and go somewhere, and if it doesn't work out or your team needs you somewhere else, you'll be able to get yourself to where you need to go pretty quickly. Speed is one of the strengths of the tank, and it doesn't really have many weaknesses. It's just a really nice all-rounder, but here's one of the things this tank is known for. There is a Centennial, the Tier 8 British premium medium tank, and boom! We put a shot in and then ram him flush in the side, follow up with another shot to destroy that tank. This tank loves to ram. And now we've got a KV-4 in front of us, so we're going to put some shots into him as well. I have switched to premium rounds here. I'm expecting the heavy tanks in the town. I know we're down, so I need every shot to count. I really don't want to bounce because one of the downsides to the E50 is DPM. It's not a high DPM tank, so I need to make sure that I'm not wasting time here. We put a shot into the lower plate of the KV-4 and take him out, and then I come around here and we can see we're down 5-9. It's really bad news right now, but we've got the rear of the T110E5. Certainly didn't need the premium rounds for that. We didn't need it for many of these shots, but I've got it loaded and I'm kind of in the thick of it, and I didn't think to change it over here and didn't want to be wasting any time, any seconds on switching my ammo over at this time. So the premium rounds aren't really necessary. They're really good. If you're going up against tier 10s, the premium rounds will do really well against most armored targets, as long as they're not super well angled. But so I was trying to get a good shot there into the T-34, and I was waiting for a minute there for my allies to think if they would come around and support me, and it wasn't happening fast enough. We're already down a number of tanks, so then I decided to go in myself, put 2 into the T-34. I took 1 in return and eliminated that tank for our 4th kill. So we had a nice cleanup in the town. I'm wondering if I had gotten there earlier, could I have made more of a difference and maybe saved some of our additional tanks on that flank? Probably. I probably made the wrong choice to go to that scouting position and not abandoning it early enough. But hindsight's 2020. You know, we're going to try and make do the best we can. So it's 7-10, and I had seen a bunch of the tanks on the enemy team pushing up the far east flank. So I'm coming down here hoping to get some artillery shots in, and boom, there we go. We see the GW Tiger, the Tier 9 German artillery, and then we we get splashed in front. That's I think that's the British Tier 9 Tier 9 artillery. We put 1 in, and look at the reload. It's just painful. It's painful. It's so slow. Oh, maybe I have his rear. No, he's completely behind the house. So we'll leave him there for now. He can't shoot us if he's behind the house. And then we're going to do something a little nice here. We're going to juke. The Tiger thought we were going right. We go left. We've crested the ridge by the time he tries to turn to face us. It's too late. And so now we're going to advance towards the house. We know the other artillery is there. Now look, I'm spotted. I'm aiming to the right. I'm trying to feint him into thinking I'm going to hug the map border and come up from that side. Now I am not spotted. We're going to change the flank. We're going to go left, and hopefully he's pointing the wrong way. We're going to do it at a little bit of a distance, make his shotgun attempt harder, and yes, that worked out nicely. I almost muffed the shot by driving over the piece of rubble Thankfully, I got the tank and the gun back down in time, and we take out both artillery. So that's 6 kills. That's a Top Gun performance, but man, it's 1 versus 6, and it looks like the enemy is going to cap out. So not much I'm going to be able to do to stop this if they want to win by cap. But I'm kind of thinking 6v1. Those guys are got to come hunt me down, right? I think some of them are even tier 10. So then it looks like it's over. And at the last second, somebody climbs out of the cap circle. Yes, they are hungry for blood. And and the first thing I run into is a T110E4, not something that you want to see, especially from the front. The penetration on this tank is good. If I aim for the sides of the lower plate, I certainly would be able to pen there, but I'm not going to try and take another hit out in the open. I need to have, if I have any chance of getting any more kills here, I need to engage them in one-on-one battle. So I'm going to run back to the back of the map. Hopefully I'm going to be breaking contact, and then we're going to go around the rails here, and we're going to try to get ourselves into position for one more kill and maybe some additional damage, and we'll see what we can do here. But carrying a game in this situation, it's not going to be very likely. Not in a top tier tank, not with much health left. So we'll see what we can do. So we've gotten ourselves down into position here. Now they have to come to me. I'm kind of over the hill. There's not long sight lines. And oh, there we go. There's a Ferdinand. That's a great target. Tier 8 German tank destroyer. And he's a one-shot, so we're able to go. We do take a hit from the Chieftain. That's a tier 10 British heavy tank with a really good reload, a really good gun. And he is able to take us out from a distance there. And end our little run, our chance at some glory. Too bad it didn't happen, but still a really good game. Now we'll roll right into the second one. So our second battle is a tier 10 standard battle on Fjords. And while we get ourselves into position, I'm going to just talk a little bit more about the E50 and some of its strengths. One of the great things, I've talked about the fact that this tank can carry a 105mm gun. So it's got nice alpha damage. I think it's 390. You certainly pack a punch. And the reload speed is a little slow. That's the DPM is lacking. The penetration is really good, but what's great about this tank is the shell travel velocity. It's so fast. Very rarely do you need to give much, if any, lead to tanks that are traveling across the face of your tank. I don't know. I see PC replays for World of Tanks, and the guys that are there just don't seem to have to give much lead. They have to give a little lead, but man, when I'm playing World of Tanks on Xbox, it seems like the lead that I have to give to a target is way, way more. Maybe it's in my head, maybe it's something I'm making up, but for this tank, for the E50, that's not the case. It is basically a laser beam. As you can see there, that motherland was moving mostly in a straight line, but a little bit left to right, and the shell got there very quickly into the rear of that tank. So this is, again, just another nice position I like to go to early on battles when I spawn. In the west spawn here, you can usually find tanks going just where that motherland went, and you're able to put shots in and then pull back without taking much return fire. So we put a couple of shots in. We do see a VK 4502B, one of the most heavily armored tanks, certainly the most heavily armored tier 9 tank, other than maybe the Doom Turtle, the T95 American TD. Very hard to go through, but I had his side there, and I feel like that should have gone in. Maybe the shot went a little bit low and only did damage to the tracks there, but that was a bit of a missed opportunity on my part. So in addition to the gun, having its multiple strengths, again, the only real weakness is its slow reload time. One of the things this tank does well is it has armor. It has decent armor. It's a medium tank, but you can bounce shots. You can side scrape. You can certainly angle, especially the front plate. It's thick and it's well angled. And if you are able to get the tanks to shoot you at your upper plate and have it on a bit of an angle, you can bounce a heck of a lot of rounds from the tanks that you'll see, especially if they're even or lower tier. Some of the light tanks that you'll run into, which might be a little bit of a spoiler coming up. We'll see if we run into a light tank in this video and we're able to bounce a couple of his shots. But now it looks like I've got a pretty good feel for the map and how things are going, so I push into the middle here a bit aggressively, but I feel like the scores are close. I need to help out here, and we've got a T-49 in front of us, that American light tank with a really big gun. We're able to put 2 shots in and eliminate him, and then we're reloaded just in time to take out our next enemy there, and that's 2 kills in very rapid succession, and we're having a pretty nice game here so far. Now we've got the side of the E-75's turret, and there you go. Most tanks with, average penetration, they're going to bounce off of the turret of an E75 if it's slightly angled like that one was, but not the E50. And then we get to put an engine shot in, set him on fire, and get a couple of fire ticks. Not the kill shot. He had just a sliver of health when one of our allies was able to take him out. And now, once again, I see an opportunity to break through and go for the Artie. Anytime there's a chance to do that, you're in a mobile tank and you can do it without risking yourself, without really putting your allies in a bad situation. It's a good thing to do because you're eliminating the long-range fire support for the enemy team. So we were able to put in the finishing shot there on the enemy artillery, and now, oh, we have a sleeping E75. And I decided to go for a tracking shot. I'm thinking that will help get some assistance damage, and wow, I am getting lit up. My ammo rack, everything is getting beat up here. What is it? It's a Lycan T-71. I did not account for that tank. I'm able to get one shot into him, but man, look at him circle. My turret ring is damaged, so my turret is turning really slowly, and usually this would not be a problem. He would not be able to circle strafe me. And there we go. Oh, I can't believe it. The shell travel speed, it's really, really good, but not quite good enough to keep up with the Lycan. But thankfully, I know another way to get rid of those pesky tanks. I reverse into him and use the ramming potential of this tank in order to take him out. So one shot in and also able to back into him. And now we can finish off the sleeping E75. I'm again trying to keep him tracked. I'm thinking my allies are going to be shooting him soon. And then we do a little ram every time we get the chance to keep him tracked, keep him get a little bit of extra damage while the gun reloads, and then we'll put another one in. We're looking for fuel tanks and fire damage. We don't get one there. We do damage the fuel tank, but this next shot is going to take him out. And there we go. That is our 5th kill, and just one enemy left. So a nice impact on the game, a nice run through there. But the last enemy, it's one of those Russian tank destroyers. I forget if it's the ISU 152. I think that's which one it is, the tier 8 version. He's up there, and if he splashes me, I'm dead. So I'm not in a rush to charge up there. I am contesting a Top Gun, and I do want it, but I kind of feel like it'd be better to lose the Top Gun but save my tank, and I've got plenty of help coming from my allies. So I'm going to play it a little bit cautious here. He knows I'm down here. I think he's going to be coming down the hill towards me. His gun will be pointed towards me. He's not going to miss. And if he's got high explosive loaded, splashing me will be enough with that big gun to take me out. So we're going to play a little cautious, a little slow. There we go. Okay, now he's spotted. And yeah, he's got just about all of his health, maybe 75% there. So one shot from us certainly would not be enough to take him out. So I back into the cap circle again, just trying to bait the guy to come down. What I'm hoping to do is to get him to come around that rock to my left because he doesn't have a turret. And if he has to come around that corner hard, I might be able to track him or some otherwise pin him in a disadvantageous position, and then I can run up on his side and keep his gun from pointing towards me. So we're going to hug this rock. We're going to make him make as tight a turn as possible. And now it looks like, there we go. The ISU did take out one of my friendlies. I'm going to poke up, put one into the lower plate. That was good. We pulled back. And once again, we're going to wait for some more support. I'm thinking if I can bait him to come around, but no. One of my allies, the FV215B1A3, the Death Star, puts in a hit, sets him on fire, and takes him out with just one shell. So just a quick look at the post-battle results for those two battles. In the first game on Live Oaks, we could see that we had 7 kills in that defeat, which is the Devastator medal to go along with the Top Gun, and only a second-class mastery badge. We did a nice job there, but not enough to carry the day. And, you know, we had a lot of cleanup type kills where we only had to put 1 or 2 shots in. But even with all that, even with the defeat, still made 35,000 credits basically, put up 3,400 XP. That was certainly with the aid of some operations. And if we go into the detailed stats, we can see that we had to fire 16 shots, 13 of which hit, and 11 of those penetrated. So good performance from this gun. Again, that was a tier 10 game. And remember, we did fire at least 3 or 4 premium rounds that probably weren't necessary. So we could have had an even better result in terms of the silver production if we had been a little more conservative with our choice of ammunition. And then in the second game, first class mastery badge for that performance, we did secure the high caliber 5,200 damage. A really nice game there. 5 kills. We did not get the Top Gun. A bunch of other medals, 65,500 credits, so a great game in terms of silver potential. And we can see really nice in terms of base XP, 1,800 and 67 base XP there. Again, you're doing over 5,000 damage in a tier 9 machine. That's going to be a good game. You're going to be happy with the result, and I certainly was with that one. 18 shots fired, so not many more shots fired. 17 direct hits and 13 penetrations. So only, I think, what, 2 more penetrations, but most of those were not small damage kill shots. We also had a couple of fires, and we were doing some tracking and assistance damage as well. So that all helped turn that into a much better result, not only in terms of the team performance for the win, but the individual performance in terms of XP and class of mastery badge. So hopefully this double dip gave you a little bit of an insight into the E50. It's a really great tank. The grind to that 105mm gun is pretty brutal. At some point, I'll do a full tank review of this tank. I haven't quite finished my grind to the E50M. It is currently November 2016, and tier 10 tanks are on sale for 20% off. So I'm about 40,000 XP away from unlocking the tier 10, and I really want to do it while I have the 20% discount available. So that is my goal right now. It's a great tank. Even without the 105mm, I think it has an 88mm that it uses, and it's fine. Obviously, tier 10s are a problem, but you have a much faster firing gun that you can put damage in more quickly. Obviously, the penetration and alpha aren't there, but you just have to play a little differently. And once you get this gun unlocked, it just becomes an unstoppable beast. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you did, please feel free to like and favorite the video. And as always, you can subscribe to Meat City Gaming for future World of Tanks content. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.